Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome back to the Pajama Party. It has been a while. You've seen me on this particular segment, and today we have a special guest here with us, Precious. Welcome, Precious. yeah,
Thank you,
so
thank you.
Precious was a very major participant of the live Instagram segments that we were doing a while back, and so I'm so glad that he was able to come here on the Pajama Party on YouTube. So, Precious, please introduce yourself.
Okay, Precious, to say here right here, software developer, proud otaku, uh,
Wait.
certified.
Did you say you're a proud otaku?
Yeah,
I thought otaku was the word for female, like manga and anime fans.
not female though. Actually, usually male anime fans that don't like going out usually stay in their houses all day,
Oh, really?
binging
Okay.
manga. Yeah,
Okay. So I guess the word can be used for both male and females.
yeah. I
Okay.
didn't even know it applies to females actually.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. Anyway, back to today's topic while we're here. Today we're going to be talking about herd mentality. Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, so we're hearing head mentality, and Precious says, you know what, I'm going to dive deep into this topic. So today we're going to talk
Mhm.
about head mentality, and hopefully we're able to touch everything we can touch. Okay, so before we start, Precious, what is herd mentality?
Okay, actually, herd mentality is the tendency to conform to a set of behavior in a community. So, as long as where you are, the social group you are in, everybody behaves like that, you behave like that. So, there's this loss of individuality, and you're just following what the group says you should. So, that's it generally.
Right. So in this definition now, basically, it doesn't matter if what the group is doing is right or wrong. You just
Yeah,
follow because the group is doing it.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. We'll come back to that, but I want to know where you first heard about herd mentality because I was trying to remember and I couldn't remember when I first heard it. I think it's probably on Twitter. I think the first time I saw the phrase was on Twitter, or herd mentality or something like that. So where did you first learn about that phrase?
Okay, it's actually a very funny story. I never knew about the term herd mentality. What I knew was crowd mentality, and it was from an MI song. I think it was
Yeah.
2010. I don't know, something like 2010. So when you asked about the topic, thing just came to my head, crowd mentality.
Mhm.
Went online, found out it was herd mentality actually. So I heard about herd mentality like last month.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you saying that the right word is herd mentality, not crowd mentality, or they are two different things?
Actually, it's the same thing, but seems like the official word online is herd mentality, not
Okay.
crowd mentality. Yeah.
Okay, so how do you know you're part of the crowd herd mentality? Because I don't know, there are so many things that we do out of reflex or out of muscle memory, so you just do stuff. So how do you know that that was actually what you intended to do, or just because everybody does it? So
Okay. Actually self-aware of so many
mm,
things, and living in a country like Nigeria, where you grow up with, do as you are told, whenever, wherever, just follow instructions.
yeah,
So I've always had that awareness, like, okay, I'm not really the type to think outside or break out of the box, the way you usually say it. So I knew right from time that head mentality or crowd mentality, which I thought was existed. And honestly, it takes a very, very brave person to break out of the mindset. So I always knew right from time. I didn't know it was wrong initially. Is it wrong? Okay, we'll talk about that, Sure, but I didn't know it was
yeah,
wrong. Or
yeah.
it was something that you had to break out of. But in a
Mm-hmm.
system like Nigeria, in this world we are, most of us we are inside, let me use the box now, inside that box, because it feels safe, actually.
Yeah. I want to know how you recognize it. So you're saying not you personally, but how does a person begin to question if they are part of a herd mentality?
It usually starts somewhere. Maybe you're in a group, your friends, religious body or your community, and some decisions taken collectively maybe does not sit right with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't sit right. And some things like, should this be right, or is this the right decision to take? And then you just think, okay, since everyone is doing it, it must be the right thing, let me just do it. And so it takes maybe decisions like that, thoughts like that. Okay, this is not right, or this goes against what I believe. And
Mhm.
then yeah, when you're something and you're like, oh, I'm just following the crowd and not really thinking for myself.
Very true. Very true. I think probably the church thing is where it's really strong. I think I
Yeah,
recognize that very much when you're in a church setting. Like, there are certain things that you want to question, not just about the things that are going on in church, even when you want to question things about the Bible, and it's like, oh, if it's said, it has been written, it's said in that way, an interpretation of the priest or the pastor is what
yeah,
should stand. And if you have any opinion like outside that, it's like you are a sinner or you're the bad person, or so everybody just learns to keep quiet and just go with the flow. So
yeah.
I don't know. Before I talk about social media and herd mentality, I want to say what are the dangers, right? What are the dangers of this herd mentality? Is this really such a bad thing to, just is it not less stressful to just follow the crowd and just do what what people are
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, it's definitely less stressful. Like I said earlier, it feels safe. I mean, everyone talks about being unique and thinking outside the box and breaking out, but there's a lot of, if you want to be unique, there are lots of risks involved. And
Yeah.
you might succeed, but the chances of you falling flat on your face, like failing, is higher. So you might just want to, okay, stay in that box and feel safe in the relative safety or your comfort zone. And so it might not necessarily a bad thing if you are satisfied with where you are. But the
Okay.
issue with herd mentality is that the tendency to think for yourself reduces gradually. So your sense of individuality, if your moral compass, your principles,
Mhm.
the more you go along that path, it reduces. And it's very dangerous for children. Like if as a child you've grown up with your parents or your elders telling you, do this, conform to this, without actually thinking, then when you are in a situation, when growing up, where you're all alone and you have to think for yourself, then you're in danger. So
Mm.
the dangers are basically you can't think for yourself, you can't break out of situations whereby you are outside the group and then you're all
Yeah.
alone. So what do you do?
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned family, because that is like the first level of influence that a child or a human being like faces. And it just feels like, well, I know for sure I'm not really too, versed in the Canadian lifestyle, but in Nigerian lifestyle, it's like most of the activities that we even had to participate in as children did not give us the opportunity to be individualistic. Like, for
Uh,
instance, your parents wouldn't, allow you to learn certain, at least I'll speak for myself. Maybe some people are out there that don't that didn't have the same childhood, but you wouldn't be allowed to or exposed to musical instruments or certain extracurricular activities unless it is, I don't know, tailored towards a career path, tailored towards a
yeah,
particular, professional course in code. So it's like most people just thought, what, I'll just go to school, I'll read my books, I'll try to be the best in my class, and then I'll finish and be a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer, whatever. But all those individualistic traits were kind of dampened, pressed down, and until they completely disappeared. I don't know about you, but that was the kind of upbringing that I had. And I don't know, I feel like, how does one break out of something that you've known all your life? You're used to your parents telling you what to do, even to the point where you are about to get married and your parents are still telling you, oh, this is not the one for you, or this is the one for you. So I don't know, like I feel like it's so difficult. It's easier said than done. Like we're having these conversations and people would probably be enlightened, but then it's like, how do you stand up to your parents? Those people that are supposed to be the in the Bible, they say like the parents are gods in the home, like they're God's representatives in the home. So like how do you stand against your parents? Just this is just an aside. Like I mean, different people have their different ways of rebelling, but I'm just asking you personally, how would you do that?
Uh, it takes a lot of courage. Yeah. First it starts with your type of person. Okay, I'll use my family as an example. I was always
Yeah.
the obedient kid, firstborn, now showing an example to your younger ones. And when people always say the teenage years are the years
Rebellious,
of
yes.
rebellion, I didn't have that. I was like, so when my siblings were growing up, like, where did all this come from? So, first of all, if you are someone that has a, should I call it in quotes, rebellious personality, because anyone that speaks up or speaks out is usually termed rebellious, stubborn, does not hear words in our society.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are the type of person that is outspoken, that does not like being oppressed, it's actually easier for you to break out of being told what to do all the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's the first stage. Then secondly, this one is easier said than done. But
Yeah.
once you realize that, okay, right from when I've been growing up, people have been making decisions for me. And even till now, you have to be aware of that and then work on yourself.
Yeah.
Work on, you don't have to, especially when you're under someone's roof and the person is footing your bills, it's very, very difficult to break out.
Mhm.
But I feel if I call it baby steps, yeah, small,
Yeah.
small rebellious and speaking out for yourself. And one thing I've noticed is that if you are with someone who likes taking decisions for you or telling you what to do, people actually respect those that speak up for themselves. They
Very
might
true.
not say, yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
they respect to hear. So if you don't start, you will always be under that person's thumb forever.
Like I'm very happy you said, because I was going to say that like it is very difficult, but one day you just have to take a stand. The moment you take a
Yeah.
stand, your parents or your elder ones will start to understand that, oh, okay, this person is, they might not take it lightly at first. You probably receive a slap or two from the, from the first rebellion. But as time
Yeah.
goes on, when you consistently take a stand, then people start to recognize that, okay, yes, this person has a mind of their own. And one thing I will also say in terms of the opposite now of not trying to want to conform to the head mentality, there's the risk of always opposing or rebelling against every single thing, right?
Yeah.
Even when whatever the herd mentality is correct or is right, but because you tell yourself that, you know what, I would never conform to the group. And sometimes you're like, is it really necessary? Like what your parents are saying is actually right, is for your own good. So I feel like being able to identify that, yes, if my principles align with the head, there's nothing wrong in actually following the head mentality. But if it doesn't, that's when I should now take a stand, whether it's right or wrong. Like I'm a proponent of, I don't really believe that certain things are right or wrong. It just depends on what your own principles are. So I feel like, yeah, that's one thing that we should all like take note of. It's not just, oh, I want to be against the head mentality, and then you're just constantly doing everything the wrong the wrong
Yeah.
side. Oh, it's crazy. Anyway, so let's talk about social media, right? Social media is social media is everything. So tell me what you think the contributions of social media or the relationship between social media and head mentality.
Okay. Personally, I feel social media is twofold actually. In a way, it has encouraged people to speak for themselves, um, like awakening our mentalities of like things. We need to speak up. We don't have to follow the norm. But one thing we fail to realize is that social media actually contributes to head mentality. In fact, it's Okay, let me give an example. Trends.
Right.
Yeah, trends. It might be just for fun or laughs. What's the latest one now, which I find totally annoying right now? Is it
Now,
somebody?
yeah, now waiting, they go pay me for now. When I
Yeah,
want they do now.
yeah. It not start it's bands, it's screws. Well, it
Yeah,
gets annoying. But people do it because other people are doing it and it's trending thing.
yeah.
Another one that's actually dangerous was this few months back. This is it Get to Olympics that people were stacking up crates.
Oh, the crate challenge. Yeah, yeah,
Crate challenge your hair and climbing and started creeping into Nigeria, raising it as rules now.
yeah.
Forgetting that our crates are different from theirs outside. Like if you follow, so all these
Yeah.
things normally, if someone tells you to do it, okay, I start these scripts up, except money is involved, because people can do anything for money. And someone just says to climb, you'll be, why should I do what risk my life and stuff? But of course, people are doing it. So trends, anything trend, and people want to be recognized, clout, things like
Mm,
that. So social media contributes to head mentality.
mm.
Another thing is this one is Instagram is the height of it.
Instagram.
People, yeah, the whole quick life thing. And maybe you see people snapping pictures of cars or luxury outings and things like that. It might be real, it might be fake, but you are forced to do all those things because you feel that's what it means to live the life or be accomplished in society. So
Yeah.
social media, yeah, so social media encourages people to break out of herd mentality, but it
Mhm.
also contributes to it. So it's a twofold thing.
So just like in everything, we can talk about social media from now till whenever. There is always the
Uh,
positives and the negatives in everything that has to do with social media. I would say to add to what you said, I would say social media actually propagates herd mentality. Why I say
yeah,
that is because normally it is harder for cultures to be born. Like imagine we didn't have social media and you wanted to propagate something. You literally had to go with a megaphone from city to city
yeah,
so that people
yeah.
can know your ideologies and stuff. But with social media, all you need to do is be an influential person in society and just say something. And that's it.
And everyone,
Everybody starts to exactly. Everybody starts, oh, you know what? That person said this, that person, and especially if you're a liked person, right? Obviously, somebody like imagine as hated that we thought Trump was. Trump still had so much followers that they literally stormed the Capitol building. Like it's like what? Like what are we saying here? Like so, even as hated that we thought Trump is, he still had followers. So herd mentality is something that social media can literally create
yeah,
and propagate. Yes, I was going to talk about like in this pajama party, there was a topic one time when we talked about the need to seek validation and the whole social media thing
yeah.
came up again. So again, I was going to say, what do you think about herd mentality and the need to be accepted, right? Because I feel like it takes a really strong person to say, oh, you know what, I want to take up a mentality away from the herd, right? Most people want the basic human need is to be accepted by the group, right? To be accepted into a group. So question, is it safe to take up a mentality separate from the herd, or what do you think about taking a mentality separate from the herd?
Now I feel it's necessary to take this mentality. Um, Human beings are social beings. Like there's nobody, no matter how much of a loner you think you are. I'm saying this from experience.
Yeah,
You need a tribe, you need a group to fall back to when things are not so good.
yeah.
And so we need community.
Mm-hmm.
But taking up a mentality outside of the head is necessary. We all have a general idea of what right and wrong is. Like there are general facts. Okay, this is not like killing someone. Everyone
Yeah,
agrees this is wrong. And
yeah.
then voice filtering down to your own personal ideologies.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are so into the head mentality that you can't even think for yourself. Number one, it affects once someone that's not really, did I say moral? Okay. Someone that brings up negative ideas or brings out negative energy to that group. And
Mm-hmm.
because you're already used to conforming, you'll follow and you'll be
Mm-hmm.
miserable.
Yeah.
So it affects, yeah, if you don't have an individual thoughts or you don't know how to think for yourself, not just your mental health, but it might be a danger to you in terms of your life.
True.
Peer pressure,
Mm-hmm.
don't face it growing up, even right now. Peer pressure, it's all part of head mentality.
Yeah.
Now, your friends influence you to do things that you don't feel comfortable with and might affect you negatively, all in the name of it's cool or because other people are doing it. So if you don't have that mind to think for yourself, you might end up dead because of a decision another person made for you. And thinking about it, that sucks. Thinking for yourself, to me, it's a survival skill. It's something you need to have.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I agree with you. And I would add to that by saying that's how cults are formed. That's how people end up in cults, right?
Yeah.
Like, or even all those fatal incidents that happen with some churches where the pastor says they should drink Dettol or they should drink one harmful substance.
Eat grass. I think there was one that they were eating
Yeah,
grass.
or the pastor is flogging them with belts, or like such crazy stuff. Like, I wonder what is going through the minds of those people when they're asking them to do those things and they really not eventually do it. Like, how much is the peer pressure? You understand? Like, it's crazy when I see stuff like that. But I do not underestimate the power of head mentality. I do not underestimate the power of media when it comes to head mentality. Like, a lot of things that we see on social media is not even necessarily the majority of people that think that way. But
Yeah.
because social media is constantly putting it in your face, you start to feel like, oh, okay, maybe that's how it is everywhere. Maybe that's how everybody is thinking. Look at the influence we talked about. Maybe that's a different topic, but talked about how social media is influencing the perception of young females on how their body looks, right? And then because on Instagram everybody has this perfect body, but the truth is when you're walking down the street, how many people have this perfect body? Right?
No.
Zero. Like, I'm not saying they're not models or people out there that have these bodies, but they're like the minority of the minority. You understand?
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to just live a normal, healthy life. Well, social media is constantly putting it in your face, and then you think, oh, maybe this is the norm. It isn't the norm, guys. So, and even if it is the norm, there are people that still have maybe that's their best day. Like, what about their bad days? Like, is that their perfect body? No. Is that their perfect skin? Hell no. So I feel like yeah, we're rounding up now, but just to conclude, let's just talk about the learning points, right? So I would allow you speak. I guess like a summary of the learning points about head mentality, what's how we should identify it, the positives, negatives, stuff like that.
Okay. Head mentality generally. Okay, let's go through history. The Jewish genocide,
Mhm.
head mentality. Okay, they were poor, they were struggling financially, and Hitler just came up and pointed to, okay, this group are the cause of our problems,
Mhm.
and were easy to blame, and majority of the Germans followed.
Yep.
Racism, xenophobia, colorism, all the social crimes, hate crimes, and stuff like that. Homophobia, Islamophobia, or all the phobias that we can think of. It's all yeah, it all boils down to head mentality because
Yeah.
you grow up with this notion that okay, this set of people or this set of ideas are the right ideas to follow without actually doing your research. Because
Yeah.
everyone, yeah, in your circle or an influential person said you should do that, you just follow and you do things that kill, you maim. So all those things they're all rooted in head mentality. We talked about social media, influencers. Now let's take this BBN, Big Brother Nigeria
Mm.
stuff. Now people just decide to stand this certain housemate.
Oh my God.
Many of them don't know the person.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know who the person is. They just like the person, and they go into war of words with a group.
Wars.
Like,
Social media wars.
yeah, they fight and insults, things like that, just because they like someone, and maybe the person handling the account or an influential person tells them, and they feel that's the right thing to do. That's instances of herd mentality. Positive aspects, like it's not all bad. Positive aspects, you feel safe.
Mm.
Part of the thing. You're in a community.
Yeah.
Things get done actually when everyone works together
Yeah.
and agree to do certain things. Things get done, and so cooperation, stuff like that. The whole social the advantages of social cooperation, head mentality. That's the advantage. But for me, disadvantages they far outweigh that. You lose your sense of individuality, like I said before. The governments they thrive on head mentality.
Of course.
Let's let's take Nigeria for example. Our parents, previous generations, they always had this mindset: you do not go against your leaders, you do not go against your elders.
Mm-hmm.
Respect, no matter if the person is worthy of your respect or not, you must follow the instructions your leaders and elders. Uh-huh.
Give you.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and when people notice that, they take advantage of that, and our leaders are experts at that.
Of course.
They know, yeah, they know how to control the crowd. They know what people like.
Mm-hmm.
So if they feel people are speaking out or speaking up or speaking against the status quo, they go after them, victimize and intimidate. And when people see this, like, I like my life, I have too much to lose.
Exactly.
So the tyrants love head mentality.
Mm-hmm.
That's a major disadvantage. And people use it as a tool to control and cajole and coerce and manipulate the crowd. And you hear things like people cannot think for themselves. Sheep, they're like sheep. You need strong people to tell
Yeah.
them what to do. Yeah. And so if we don't speak up, and I thank God we are speaking up now, which
Mm-hmm.
social media is a huge contributor to. But if we don't speak up for ourselves, we'll keep making the same mistakes, and it will get to a stage where subsequent generations from now, where things will be so bad that right now we have the luxury of living our lives. We don't have war or famine. Things are
Yeah.
not good. Like the system is messed up, but at least
At least we're not in war. Yeah.
yeah, we're not fighting and killing each other. But
So,
if we keep on, yeah, for now,
I
because
mean, because there are some places in Nigeria that, people are dying every
uh,
day. But let's just leave
yeah,
that
people
for
are
now.
dying, but it's not
Yeah.
affecting. And so people in the south, we are like, we
Mm.
speak up, we talk, but we don't
Yeah.
really face these things
Mm-hmm.
much. So we don't really know what's going on, but we see it on the news. But if we are not careful and we don't keep speaking up, to get to a stage that it will spread all over the nation,
Yeah.
and that's going to start getting more messed up than it usually is. So speak up for yourself, or else people will keep using your head till you die.
True. True. Thank you so much. And just to conclude again, we should, as human beings, yes, we are social beings, and they have to be certain rules and precedents for us to even live our lives. Like if we do not know certain things
Uh,
before now, how would we have functioned? But I would just say that we should welcome other ideas. I feel like the danger of herd mentality is with the herd, right? People who now, like you said, have those phobias because this person is different from me, I'm going to kill them. But then we need to
yeah,
understand that yes, we might have I think it starts from an individual. I have an ideology, I have something I believe in. The other person has something they believe in. It doesn't make them wrong, it just makes them different. And so the moment we start to accept those arguments, not quarrel,
yeah,
not fight, not war, not hate, not killing, arguments, proper, fruitful arguments, even online. Like the worst thing I can ever do is engage in a social media argument because people are crazy out there. But
Yeah.
but seriously, having arguments, I welcome arguments. Arguments where we are listening to each other, we're actually learning from each other, right? Those arguments are what bring about creativity, invention, change, right? So as a herd, yes, I'm not gonna say I'm not part of a herd. I might be directly or indirectly, knowingly or unknowingly, but as a person, I've just decided that okay, you know what? Every single thing I hear, I question. Every single thing I'm taught, I question first. Like the culture of the Nigerian education system where you're in class and the lecturer is saying, do not use your own words, cram this stuff and pour it back to me. If you use your own,
Exactly.
you understand? If you use your own words, you're not getting the full point. You know, the person that does it verbatim gets the full point. That is stifling individualism. That is stifling thinking. So I feel like yes, herd mentality, fine, no problem. But let us all embrace the individuals in the society, the thinkers, the people who want to change stuff. And if your mentality as an individual is same as the head, there's no shame in agreeing that your ideas are the same. Like at the end of the day, we just all want to, live happy lives. So let's just stop stressing ourselves. Anyway, thank you so much, Precious, for being here. This was a very, very enlightening conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah, obviously, I see many, many more conversations between us in the future. But for now, yes, everybody, Precious here. I would put his Instagram, you know how it goes in the description box. And you know what to do. If you want to participate in the pajama party, just send me a DM at Yamen's Thoughts on Instagram and share. People should hear this particular topic. It's very, very, very important, especially for the young ones out there. And yeah, like, comment, tell me what you think about herd mentality. Have you ever been part of it? Have you ever experienced the dangers of herd mentality, either as being a herd or as being the individual in the situation? And yeah, if you are new here, welcome. And don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Thank you so much, Precious. And I'll see you all in my next episode. Bye.
All right. Bye. Thank you.